Much for having me here this afternoon. I have many confessions to make, but I'll start with the most obvious one. I've lived all my life in Bombay. I grew up in Churchgate, went to school near Churchgate, went to college near Churchgate, and still live in the area of Churchgate. So literally, I tell myself that if I have to cross the Marine Drive flyover, I need to get a visa. So having said that, that's my geographical location of where I have been in Bombay over these years. But luckily, because of my work, I've traveled a bit. I remember as I was growing up in Bombay, there were street musicians, and they would come and play, different kinds of music, mostly sort of harmonium-led. And my mother would tell me to go downstairs and give them money or food or clothes or a combination of three. And that was probably when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. Now, to date that I was born in 1960. We're talking about 1970s, what I can recall. And in 1972, right near KC College, not too far from here, there was a man living in a building who had a leopard as a pet. And he used to walk the leopard like you would walk a dog with a leash on the road. And literally, the leopard and the man are walking like that. I never tried to touch the leopard, of course, but walking right by. That was Bombay of 1972, 73, etc. So we've come a long way and probably come a wrong way. And somewhere along the line in my travels in the 1980s and 1990s, you travel around the world, you go to London, you go to Europe, and you see musicians everywhere, you see laughter in some sense, because that's what music does, that's what sound does. And so we started a foundation called NSPA Foundation. We did want to call it National Streets of Performing Arts, but the government said, no, you can't use the word national. We'd already chosen the logo, so we called it natural. Anyway, so we've got NSPA, and the idea is to support street music. So we have a team of people who audition musicians. We have a team that talks to the government, talks to railway stations, talks to the people who've got metros, talks to people who've got private malls, and we arrange for locations. And then our job is to kind of match the two through a software. And we allow these musicians to perform at different places where they wish to perform. And at the end of every month, we pay them a salary. There's a salary check that goes to their bank account. So they all have Aadhaar, they all have PAN now. And which is unlike the model in the Western world where you have a guitar box open and you may or may not throw money. So there's variability of income. Whereas in this, you've got a fixed salary, and the salary is about 1,200 rupees per hour per musician. So if you work for about 20 hours in the whole month, you earn about 24,000 rupees. It's just for 20 hours of actually performing. And that gives you many, I can see some people saying, oh, let's be musicians. And that gives you the opportunity to spend the rest of your time doing other things around music. So I don't know if you've heard of a group called, what's it called, Kabir Cafe?
Yes.
They're born and they met on NSP. Okay, so that's the kind of thing we've got. A lot of these success stories, which is great. The other thing that we've done is we know that Bombay has built a BKC, and we said we want to build a big happy city. So we got this ambitious little thing going on the side called BHC, not BKC. Again, that Bombay cannot be concrete, glass, jungle, cement. Doesn't make sense. You've got to have a certain sense of happiness of being in Bombay. We had this lady from France with us for a year. She was an urban architect, and she actually came to audition for NSP. When I saw her bio, I saw that she was an urban architect in Paris, or rather from Paris. So I said, Anne, do us a favor. Go across Bombay, Mumbai, look at the parks, tell us the condition of the parks, and do little graphics on your computer as to what the parks are like today and what the parks could be like tomorrow. You all seen those ads, right, in the papers for losing weight before and after? Something like that. What is it today? What could it be tomorrow? We then went to meet a few MLAs in Bombay and said, look, you've got money that you can spend on the locality. So why don't you convert these so-called parks, which actually are just brown pieces of dirt and mud, into functioning places? So that's starting very slowly, but it's starting. So we've done these few little efforts on our own, and all of this with a view. Again, I'm from the field of finance, so I don't understand urban planning. I'm not an architect, I apologize for that. But I do recognize that having a smile on someone's face is far more important than having these concrete jungles. And I'm going to talk a lot more about the coastal road and how that must be fought and why that